A lot of people think that healing is about becoming less emotional, less triggered, less activated by life. But according to the neuroscience, the actual healing and the actual growth is about actually increasing your nervous system range. Because there's a lot of people, especially if you had been through childhood trauma or any type of trauma in your life, they can really tolerate stress. They can tolerate chaos, but it's hard for them to tolerate positive emotions like joy, like love, like creativity. For them, they can survive chaos, but calm feels somewhat unsafe for their body. Love, a lot of the times, and this is, a lot of people, a lot of my clients had been struggling with love because love feels suspicious. Peace, feels unfamiliar. And that really changes the entire conversation about healing, because your brain, our brains have not been only wired for survival, because again, in neuroscience, Jaak Panksepp introduced 7 emotional circuits, and only 3 of these are actually wired for they are uncomfortable sensation. And yes, we have the fear emotional circuit in our brain, which is pure survival, but we also have seeking. We have panic and grief, and also we have care. We have anger, but also we have play, and we have lust as means of like a biological reproduction. But that can be also, seen as pleasure. So there's a lot. So human brain has been developed by Mother Nature to feel it all, both sides of the spectrum. And healing does not mean that you have to tolerate more pain and you have to, again, almost like regurgitate those difficult emotions, but actually learning how to tolerate way more joy, way more peace, way more positive stuff. So those emotional systems, like I said, they can feel pleasant or unpleasant and uncomfortable for the body. But the key point is that a healthy nervous system has the capacity for both. A regulated nervous system has the capacity for both. Untraumatized, so when you're healing, you're moving from the dysregulation, from constant activation of the nervous system and then reacting impulsively to it, towards a healthy nervous system that can feel activated, can feel the raw emotion, but stop the impulsivity. So the nervous system range looks like you stop feeling guilt around joy. You stop feeling scared of intimacy. You don't shut down when there is peace and quiet. You're not overstimulated, and this is what happens a lot. A lot of the people are overstimulated from even a little bit of joy, a little bit of care, a little bit of play. That is already overstimulation for them. So it's not about tolerating, again, as you can see, guys, it's not about tolerating more chaos and more stress. No, actually, it's about tolerating something, way deeper than that. So how do you work with expanding your nervous system range? Now, what is really important is for you to really think about with which sort of emotional systems, if you bring it back to the pure biology. So if you work only with those biological emotional systems that I named today, with which actual emotions do you feel you have problems when they are being activated within you? Is it care? And like I said, for a lot of you guys, when you feel even remotely a feeling towards another person, a lot of you are just so overstimulated, you are distorting a lot of that, and this almost it feels suspicious. So it's almost like it's not making things bigger than they actually are. So it's about really stop making joy bigger than it is. Stop making love bigger than it is. Stop suppressing grief. Again, it's like crying, it's huge. Stop suppressing that. Tears are normal. And also stopping dramatizing fear. Because again, it's like sometimes, of course, we do face those situations when we don't have resources for things, and I'm not talking about these situations when you are really at the edge of something that is very real, yeah, but I'm talking about, again, like fear of intimacy, so fear of falling in love, fear of feeling connection with someone. When you are staying through all these activations without suppressing, dramatizing, and making something bigger than it is, then those activations are able to move freely in your body and fully actually in your body. And this is so important. That's how you expand that range. And as you can see, if you want to truly expand the range, you have to have life. You have to have friends. You have to have some relationships. You have to, do some sort of work in your life. And it doesn't have to be the work in a traditional, conventional way, but just like, being in relationship with life. So and there's so many narratives, especially I think in a spiritual or like, mystical and sometimes therapeutic or psychological communities that isolation. Because when you isolate, you're literally just shutting down emotionally. Hermit mode is not a healthy mode. You're supposed to be activated by life and expand the range of your nervous system if you want to heal. If you want to heal. If that is your actual purpose. And you will heal. When you start working with your nervous system range, that's going to happen inevitably. And I see that again and again in the client work that I've done and also in my own healing work that I've done. The more range I had and the more range my clients have, they started really moving completely differently in life, and therefore their life started reflecting that, started changing because they were making different choices, they were making different decisions, they had completely different behavior. And they trusted their own judgment. And again, all that was simply coming from expanding the range of the nervous system and for them to understanding that emotions are there to be felt and they are just normal biological response to life. And again, for those of you, because I had a lot of clients who are sensitive, for those of you guys who are really sensitive, that the mastery of your activations and the expansion of your nervous system range is crucial for growth and for healing. If you want to really tap into whatever you want to tap into, expanding the range 100% is going to do a lot of really good stuff for you. So healing is not about that emotional numbness, but healing is about an emotional range. You have to have an emotional range when you are able to feel and move adequately, not impulsively. So if you want help in expanding the capacity of your nervous system and expanding the range of your nervous system, you've got the links down below for the work that I am doing with my clients. You can read everything on my website, the pricing and the whole, the information about the first session, what to expect, all that confidentiality, the ethics, all that is there on my website. So you can see it and check whether that is the work that you would like to do. Like, share and subscribe if that is something that hit you. Otherwise, I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.